All right, welcome back. In case you're just joining us, it's Morning Line with Nancy, of course, the business and finance program on this channel every morning, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Of course, you would, take it with us that, of course, we started today. I've been away for a while, but that does not mean that I've been away from what's been happening. Looking at agriculture today, diversifying the economy. When I went to the World Bank meeting, was it 2014 or 2012? World Bank IMF meeting, I think 2014. In fact, I saw a book written called Breaking the Oil Spell. And, I bought the book, I read it, and I was like, oh, I wish, our authorities can actually read this, that we need to break the oil spell in the country. We've been saying that we need to diversify, and our diversification process, we're looking at agriculture. So that's what I'm looking at today. As we start the year, are we really going to get things right this year? My guest is joining me right now. He's no longer a doctor. The professor, Professor Abba Gambo. He's from the Department of Crop Science, University of Maiduguri. Prof, it's good to see you. Quite a while.
Thank you very much, Nancy. I want to start by saying a big congratulations to you on behalf of everybody that has been following your show. I saw the change in name.
Oh, okay.
We want to congratulate you, and I want us to tell Mr. Energy that he's the most lucky person in Nigeria today.
That's my husband, Mr. Naji.
Yes, exactly.
I hope Mr. Naji is watching.
I sincerely hope so.
You are the most lucky person. You are the most lucky man.
Yes, let me tell him. Mr. Energy, you are the most lucky Nigerian. We wish you plenty of marital bliss. And please take good care of my sister.
This is really an open one, an open letter,
yes.
Isn't it? An open statement
exactly.
to him. Mr. Naji, I hope you are watching and you are
Of
listening.
course.
All right, thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very
Nancy.
much, Prof.
You, yeah.
It's good to be back. But like I said earlier, of course I was away, but I wasn't away from what was happening.
Definitely.
I was really, monitoring all what was happening. Agriculture, is it the way to go? Away from the lip service that we've always played, is it the way to go? What's your outlook?
Yeah, Nancy, on a more serious note, the last 2 years has been full of activities as far as agriculture is concerned. In 2016, the overall budget was 6.06 trillion, and agriculture got a chunk of 45 billion naira. In 2017, like you rightly said, it was about 7.08 trillion or something like that. But then the president gave the agricultural sector 92 billion naira. And this allocation to the agricultural sector this year happens to be the highest since the creation of Nigeria. So we're actually so excited. And then what the president, during the budget implementation, he just mentioned that we are going to look into 5 key things. One, the president told them that the money is going to be invested into input delivery. Then there has to be market, that is credit access and then credit and market. Then he said equipment. And of course, then he said the commodity boards of the previous regimes, market commodity boards, are likely to come back. Then finally, he talked about storage. These are the major issues in agriculture. We've always said it, no storage facility, so whatever we produce, most of them are going west, etc. And then the access to credit is also a big thing. But now I'm happy to say that you just mentioned the central bank under the Growers Anchors Borrowers Program, they are doing a good thing. I'm aware. Then, of course, under the auspices of the governors, the federal government has signed an agreement with a Chinese company for the tune of $4.5 billion. And it's going to be given to all the 36 states across board equally. But then I am a member of that committee, and what we do is we divided the whole sum, that $4.5 billion, with 38, the federal government and the FCT. Then everybody knew what he's going to get. But the clues in the package that the president signed on behalf of the country is no state will get a single pence, not $1. So it's just mechanization and pure agricultural mechanization. Every state has its peculiar problem. In the south is forest. In the north is savanna. So the kind of machines they need are different. Now we've done the first meeting, and all the states have submitted their requirements. In a very short while, the machines are going to enter the states, and the Chinese company that is involved has agreed they are going to work in every state for 2 years.
What's the Chinese company going to do?
The Chinese company is bringing in the machinery.
Okay, is that
all the machinery? That's how the agreement is.
Is that the only thing they are going to do?
They will bring in the machinery. They will build the capacity of your people in your states that will man the machinery. Then for 2 years, they will be with you, spare parts, etc. After the 2 years, there is a strong belief that the people that are manning the machineries are actually will be professionals by then, and then the Chinese government is going to leave.
Okay, because
in all the 36 states.
Because why I asked, I'm really particular now about having a lot of foreigners do the jobs that Nigerians should do. Because if we're going to be promoting production in the country or made in Nigeria, as it were, we should also look at discouraging, I'm not saying discouraging totally, but enhance the capacity of Nigerians to do the things that foreigners would normally do. Why can't we even encourage, for example, big local companies like in construction, even in manufacturing? Was it sometime last year I said there was a time I was driving to work and I saw some foreigners along the central business district. For those that know Abuja well, just it looks like either a Lebanese or a Chinese. I think a Chinese person. Just, you know, and the Nigerians are just laborers. And I was like, would you tell me you don't have an engineer that will do what that Chinese man is doing? So I actually have apathy in terms of what are we getting the foreigners to do? That's why I asked you that question.
It's a very good question. Now you know the typical Nigerian. If I am a businessman, I'm a contractor, I want a situation whereby I will pay in today, maybe at most by a month. At most, I've gotten my profit back. So for now, people to come in, $4 billion, Nancy, is not a small amount of money. Really, it's not a small amount of money. And most of us in Nigeria, what we're interested in, putting your input as quickly as possible. Maybe in 2-3 days' time, you've gotten your profit. And agriculture is time-bound, really. The only crop I can think of that you can get the profit in 21 days is just amaranthus green. That one you can plant today. In 21 days, it's ready for harvest. But apart from that, definitely there is
as if it doesn't get diseased.
Exactly, with good management.
Management,
yes. Yeah, but then let's talk. During the introduction, you talked about rice. I was opportune to write the concept note for the ban on rice importation, and I want to share it with you.
Okay.
What actually happened was the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, Governor Abdulaziz Yari, called us that, Prof, you are the agri-consultant, give us a concept note on rice. We want to see how we can actually ban the importation of rice. It was not a small thing. I went into records, I did everything, I came out. And then the results were so interesting to them. I told them Nigeria needs 5.4 million metric tons of rice per annum. And what we can grow now is just about 3 million, approximately 3 million metric tons. So you now have a gap of about 2.4 million metric tons. So for you to ban importation, you must, where will the balance of 2.4 million metric tons come into the country? So now when we did that, they said, okay, there are rice producing states, what can they do? I said, yes, I know the major rice producing states, Ebonyi, Kwara, KB, etc., so many of them. But I said, the way you're doing it is wrong. You're doing one season of rice, maybe just during the rainy season. So you now have to go ahead and do 2 seasons of rice. In that way, you can break the dichotomy. Then secondly, I also told them that the people that are on the farms now, most of them are old. You have to bring in a kind of project that will motivate youths into agricultural productivity, particularly in rice. So at the end of the day, we met the vice president, and it was actually announced that there will be a ban on rice importation by the end of this year. And so far, the story is so good. In KB alone, in KB state alone, we got 1.2 million metric tons out of the gap, out of the 2.4. So we are now left with another 1.2 million. Zamfara, Sokoto, Kano, Kwara, Ebonyi have contributed close to 1 million metric tons. So I, for one, foresee a situation whereby by December of this year, there will be ban of rice importation and everything is going to come back well. Then quickly, the president said importation of foreign juices is also going to stop. You know, I'm so passionate about the horticultural sector. So, and I told you, We did a peer review under the Governors Forum, visited all the 36 states of the Federation. We did not see, Nancy, a functional agro-allied processing plant that is governmental owned in all the 36 states. None. None. And luckily, the president is talking about storage. So maybe there will be some little cottage industries here and there. You find where there are plenty of tomatoes. You put in a tomato processing plant. Inugu, plenty of cashew, plenty of pineapple. What are they doing? You understand? You come to the Lokoja zone, cashew, very plentiful. No processing plant. And the whole issue of value addition is you can export whatever you want, but then they must meet international standards. And for you to meet international standards, you just make sure that they are well harvested, they are well cured, they are well packaged, etc.
Okay, Prof, you seem very, very optimistic, and I want to share your optimism because even over the holidays, talking about rice, I did eat a lot of local rice coming from even Nasarawa. I saw rice bags bagged from Nasarawa State, Ebonyi State, and all of that. I still noticed that the bags of rice were also on the high side. Because when I asked, I was being told that a bag of rice, local rice, went for like 16,000 naira. I understand that the farmers also need to make profits. I also understand that the farmers have their own factors of production that they need to put in place. But the question also is, if we have that backlog or we'll have that gap to fill, shouldn't we at the end of the day make sure that we've gotten our acts right, we've gotten our acts fully before the ban on rice? Because some people have that notion. What do you think? Or we should just go straight ahead as we're doing right now?
Yeah, I think the timing is good enough. When I say the timing is good enough, that decision was taken about 1 year ago, and the ban is going to start effective 31st December 12 midnight this year. So you now have about 2 years. You understand? And within the 2 years, we've done so much work. We gingered up so many state governments. At the beginning, we started with 8 states. We call them the rice-producing states. At the end, we now reach up to about 15 states, all of them producing rice. And then the most important thing in rice production, Nancy, is the milling process. If you don't have a very good international standardized milling machine for rice, whatever the amount you produce, when it goes in, it will not be palatable to the Nigerian consumers. And you know, in most cases, we're used to where you buy the marigold rice, etc., just from the bag direct into the pot, because you don't need to sort anything. I remember several years ago, our mothers would be sorting plenty of stones for the rice. Before they boil it, they wash it, pour it away, and then rewash again before cooking. So we're trying to prevent all this. And I must commend 2 individuals here, the governor of Kebbi State, Atiku Bagudu, and the governor of Lagos, Ambodi.
I think they are coming together.
They came together.
Yeah.
The Leke rice is already in the market, and it goes for 9,000 naira.
A bag.
A bag, 50 kg bag. The same bag that you saw along Nasarawa, that is 16. But when you go to the hinterland now, even in Borno State, it goes for as far as 20,000 naira. You understand? Okay. But then Kano is also trying to come up with its own rice. The same thing with Niger and then the other states. Like you said, I'm very, very optimistic. By the middle of this year, most probably, the price of rice is really going to go down.
Let's talk about the post-insurgency agriculture. And let's link it with farming. That was it sometimes last year, we were being told by sources, of course, at the executive, that if we are not careful, I think it's even the Minister of State for Agriculture that did say that if we are not careful, that we may, you know, have a shortage of food this year. And Nigerians went berserk in terms of how can a government official come out to say that even if there's that kind of problem, what we should be hearing from you should be actions to term it. But he actually mentioned that groups of farmers, they are exporting their grains and all of that. I want you to also link it to the post-insurgency agriculture, because a lot of agric produce do come from the northeast where we're having insurgency now.
Thank you. Now, what the minister said was really correct, but he was not even the first person that made the statement. The first statement came from the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. They came out vividly and they said, Sub-Saharan Africa, particularly Nigeria, is still food insecure. And if drastic and quick measures are not taken, it will translate into a kind of real famine. The Northeast region, Nancy, happens to be the worst region in terms of all human developmental indicators. We have the lowest rate of school enrollment. We have the highest rate of child mortality. We have the highest rate of youths that are moving around. Some have gone to school, some have not. And we also have one of the harshest environmental vagaries. By April, the whole of Northeast is about 41 degrees centigrade. Then, of course, this natural phenomenon whereby we just have 3 months of rainfall per annum, instead of places like Kwara that has about 9, Oyo, Lagos axis, rivers that they have up to 12 months of rainfall per annum. So by the time you look at all these indicators, farming in the Northeast is a very serious business. You have 3 months to make sure that you finish all your agricultural activities, or else the bell is, the door is closed. Now, with the insurgency, in Borno State, for example, at a time, 21 out of the 27 local government areas were sacked. The population of Maiduguri is 1.2 million approximately. Today, as I'm talking to you, we are more than 3 million people, all in Maiduguri. There are about 19 different IDP camps existing in Maiduguri today. And the camps, male, women, children, virtually all the people in the camps are actually farmers. So we now have a situation whereby we have plenty of land for farming, but then the farmers are not there. So now you said post-insurgency. We are so happy. At least everything is coming to an end, we all know. But then you have to do certain things before the farmers go back to the farms. We are aware the security people said there have been mines planted, so many. So the mines have to be swept away so that the farms can be clear. That is one. Then secondly, there has to be a kind of intensive counseling and trauma counseling also to the IDPs. Let them go back to their villages, let them pick the bits and pieces of their lives, and then they can start off.
The government should be able to support them.
That is what I'm saying. The government has to come in directly. Then Nancy, seeds, the agricultural inputs we're talking about, fertilizer, seeds, the mechanization, the chemicals, you understand, for the spray of so many pests and diseases. You know, the place has been lying fallow for about 5 years, so you now have a kind of mini jungle. You understand?
You have to resuscitate the soil.
Everything, the soil itself,
yes.
you have to clear, get them the fertilizer, etc. So by the time this is done, I'm sure they'll go back and then they'll start their normal life. But as it is now, it's still blink.
With what you've said right now, post-insurgency agriculture, because we've not yet gotten our assets together, the IDPs really, they are still even battling for life itself. We have camps that we have malnourished children and all of that. Sometime last year, I lamented on this program a few times on the state of IDPs, because what even worries me is the millions of dollars, I don't want to say naira, because if you translate it to naira now, it's billions of naira, you know, that really go into resuscitating these IDPs, but yet we still don't know anything about it. But let's move over to, with all those things that we're having in place right now, IDPs that are farmers that are supposed to be on the farms, post-insurgency agriculture, the budget of 92 billion naira for agric this year. Do you think that Nigeria can really feed her citizens?
With a very
as a professor in agriculture, can we?
With a very good policy framework.
A very good policy
framework.
All the policies we have, what does that mean? I don't understand this English.
Okay. Can I say it in Hausa, or I should say it in Igbo? Okay, Nancy, let's go in this way.
Yeah.
There is the green alternative document
yes,
of the federal government of Nigeria. You've seen a copy. That document is supposed to be the real agricultural policy for the next 4 years. So whatever that the government wants to do agriculturally is in that policy. It's going to be like a puzzle. You pick one, fix it. You pick another one, fix it. But then there is a kind of disconnect between the federal government and all the 36 states. We're expecting the federal government to call all the major stakeholders, do some town meetings all over the country, know the peculiar challenges of peculiar states, and you now try to give solution within the policy document. I was given a copy. I went to certain states. I was asking the commissioner. They said they've never seen the policy. So NGF now quickly came in. We're trying to call a meeting whereby all the 36 state commissioners will come, and then the federal government will come, members of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. We want to sit down. They've already produced the policy. We want to sit down, and then we want to make the states to key in as quickly as possible so that we all move together. But as I'm talking to you now, the federal government is on its own, and most of the states are also on their own. But we want to match them to form a synergy as quickly as possible. Then another important thing is this. You are aware most of the agricultural policies, starting from the first regime, come to Operation Feed the Nation, the D-Free, every government has its own agricultural policy.
Why have we successively failed at getting it right when it comes to agriculture? And even if you look at a few other sectors like power, if you take a look at power, electricity, why have our presidents not fixed, both current president, past president, not even fixed power, which would also assist agriculture? So why have we successively failed not getting agric right with the potentials and the realities that we have on the ground?
I want to answer this question in my capacity as a lecturer in a Nigerian university, so that I will not be taken from any angle. The truth, Nancy, the truth is, for so long, the right people were not put into the position of leadership, especially in the Ministry of Agriculture, for so long. Okay. You understand? Chief Audogbe, he's an excellent farmer, but he read French. He's a graduate of French. Some time ago, people were coming historian, somebody in the police, etc. So I posit, just like the health issue, I've never imagined somebody that is not a health professional manning the Ministry of Health. And the same thing in the states. So we now want a situation whereby you bring co-agriculturalists to the realm of things, and definitely there will be changes. But
so the minister could be an excellent farmer, but he's not a good administrator and a good agriculturist, like you said. I
did not say that. What I said is he's an excellent farmer,
yes,
but he did not study agriculture.
And he studied French.
He studied French.
Are you of the opinion...
And agric is not done in French in
yes.
Nigeria.
Are you of the opinion that perhaps, just as we end the program, are you of the opinion that the president should change his cabinet, especially when it comes to agriculture now?
I'm not the only one talking about this. Everybody is talking. The team as it is presently, we've not seen the desired results, you understand. We were so very much optimistic. There was plenty of enthusiasm among all Nigerians that within the first 6 months, there will be plenty of changes. Within the first 6 months, even the ministers were not there.
Okay. All right. Let me just take one last word from you. And coming from the commodity boards, and I will ask you to do that in 30 seconds just before we close. Can we really have a virile agricultural system without a commodities market, without a commodities exchange?
No, all over the world, you have to make sure that the farmers are well protected. How do you protect them? You form them into community groups, commodity groups. All yam farmers, all cassava farmers, all pepper farmers. And they do in such a way that whatever you produce, just bring it to the board, they take it up. You might not get your money immediately, but definitely you know that you have your money at the end of the day. Unlike a situation whereby middlemen will come, they buy it cheap at the farm gate, they come to the town, they sell it excessively. So the introduction of the commodity boards definitely is going to be of great importance to agricultural development in this country.
Prof, I want to say many thanks for coming on today's edition. That will not be the last of it. We'll continue to look at agriculture in, I'll talk to you in weeks to come.
Sincerely thank you, honestly. It's always a big pleasure being with you on this forum.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. All right, I've been speaking with Professor Abba Gambo from the University of Maiduguri, and I want to commiserate with you what happened in the University of Maiduguri, the bomb blast. So I want to commiserate with you on that, and of course, families of the victims that were involved. That's the much we can take on today's edition of the program Moneyline with Nancy. That will be coming to you on this station, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. every morning. Of course, we'll keep you up to speed with business and finance. That's what I'm known for, and we'll continue again this year. Thank you for joining us. Like I always say, be the best you can be and be the change that you want to see. I am Nancy Naji. See you again tomorrow.